Yo, what up,
First of all, we'll get
friends?
into our rankings. So, women's college basketball still got to shout out my Lady Bruins at 10-0, number one in the rankings. You have South Carolina moving up one spot to number two at 10-1. Notre Dame moves up to number three at 9-2. They moved up 5 spots, a huge jump there. UConn moves down 2 spots. They are 9-1 at the fourth rank, and then you have LSU, who is now 12-0, the Lady Tigers here in women's college basketball. They're at the number 5 spot. Moving into men's college basketball, Tennessee, yes, those Volunteers. Shout out to Knoxville and the Volunteers down there. They are 10-0 in the number 1 position. Auburn is 9-1 at the number 2 position. Iowa State follows them at number 3, 9-1. Kentucky at 9-4. 10-1, and Duke is at 8-2 at the number 5 spot. Your men's college basketball rankings. Duke comes in at number 5. Moving on to our NHL rankings. We look at the top teams of this week. The Minnesota Wild still holding strong from last week, a 19-5-4 record. At number 2, the Washington Capitals. Shout out to the DMV, where I am currently residing right now for the time being. By the way, if you didn't know and you're in the DMV, shout out, hit me up. We can hang out. I am back home for a little while in the holidays. Anyways, the Caps are 19-6-2. At number 3, the Winnipeg Jets are 21-9. The Vegas Golden Knights at number 4, 18-7-3. The Florida Panthers come in at number 5 at 18-9-2. Watch out for the rematch of the Stanley Cup Finals that last year coming up this week. The Florida Panthers and the Edmonton Oilers will go to battle. And a huge shout out to my Los Angeles Kings coming in at number 7 with a beautiful 17-8-3 record, playing over their head. That's an NHL term if y'all did not know. Anyways, the NBA Cup. The Emirates Cup, to be specific. That is the new NBA's in-season tournament, and we are going to the finals, and the finals is going to be the 20-5 Oklahoma City Thunder. They have been great all year, and the scariest part about it is that they're one of their best players, their second best player after SGA, Chet Holmgren, has been injured for almost 2 months with a broken pelvis. He is ready to come back in the next few weeks, and that is only going to make them so much better. They've won 5 straight games and own a net rating of plus 20 in those 5 games. They will go up against the Milwaukee Bucks at 14-11. Milwaukee is saying, don't forget about us, y'all. Y'all wrote us off for dead. Y'all said that we weren't going to be good after we won the championship, and we went downhill, and we fired Budenholzer, we fired Griffin, we picked up Doc. Everybody want to, crap on Doc. I know Hot Take Jake like to always give his opinion on Doc. Well, now y'all haters can be quiet because Doc always proves in the long run of good of a coach he is. They have won 12 of their last 15 games while Chris Middleton is still trying to get back in the mix. But Antetokounmpo, Giannis, and Damian Lillard look awesome together. So let's take a look at those power rankings for the week. The aforementioned Oklahoma City Thunder move into your number 1 spot. They have the number 1 ranked defense in the league. Number 2, the Cleveland Cavaliers at a 22-4 record. They own the number 1 offense in the league. At number 3, my Boston Celtics at 21-5. Awesome blowout of the Wizards last night. What a great game that was. They are the number 2 offense in the league. At number 4, the Dallas Mavericks are the number 4 offense in the league, and they come in with a 17-9 record. And again, those gritty Memphis, I was going to say Grizzlies instead of, which is what they are, gritty. Then instead of Memphis, I said Memphis. I don't know if it was like Memphis and syphilis mixed together. I don't know why I would say that. The gritty Memphis Grizzlies, say that 5 times fast. Peter Piper picked a pepper, pack a pick a pepper. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Well, a woodchuck would chuck too much wood if a woodchuck could chuck. I just made that last part up. I know that's not how it goes. Anyways, the Memphis Grizzlies with top 5. Get this, y'all. You know how big I am if you watch the Bottom Line Sports into NBA, and pretty much any sport. If you have a top 10 offensive and defense, that makes you a championship contender, especially in the NBA. And Memphis is top 5 in offense and defense. So they are definitely a championship contender that we need to watch out for. Moving into the NFL. So the NFL this week, the MVP race has heated up, and now it is down to just the quarterbacks. I know how this year I stumped all year long for Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley, and yes, I normally do anyways because I like to make sure that other people other than quarterbacks are getting a shot at the MVP. I don't appreciate how quarterbacks are the only ones that ever get a shot. So I was stumping for them, but unfortunately, Saquon Barkley only had 65 yards. Derrick Henry had a little bit better of a game, but still not that great of a game. While in the past 2 games, Josh Allen last game had 3 rushing and 3 passing touchdowns for a total 6 touchdowns. And then Lamar Jackson followed that up this week with 5 passing touchdowns. Not to be mistaken, Allen then comes back and has 200 passing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns, and being the first quarterback to do that in a long, long time. So these 2 quarterbacks are really, really excelling this year. Now, obviously, the past 2 weeks, Allen has been playing better, but if you look at the overall stats, yards, rushing yards, TDs, Lamar Jackson is ahead in all of the different ranks. But yes, Allen has been playing better as of late. I think it's going to be an awesome race to the end. That being said, do consider the schedule. Allen and Buffalo's schedule, pretty light. Pretty light. The Pats twice, the cheating Patsies twice, and the New York Aaron Rodgers Jets. That's a pretty easy schedule for Josh Allen to completely and totally eviscerate. By the way, look out for a new show coming soon from Ball and Buds. Total evisceration. All right. That was pretty cool. I said that. I like that. That made me pop. The Ravens, Steelers, Texans, and Browns are on their schedule, so not as easy as a schedule. So if you're just looking schedule-wise, it would seem to be that it would be Josh Allen's MVP race to lose at this point. Moving into college football, as I mentioned earlier, college football playoff starts this Friday. Indiana visits Notre Dame. Going to be an awesome college football playoffs. Awesome weekend. Really looking forward to that. Shout out to Navy, who defeated Army for the first time since 2021. And in that time, they also won the Commander-in-Chief trophy because they beat the Air Force as well earlier in this season. Navy and Army had both winning records, which is usually not the case in the service academies because they play, well, obviously, first of all, not even who they play, but it's because of the fact that they have so much more, many more commitments and hours that they have to put in the day than any other football team across the nation. But there's also held to a higher standard. They also don't have any usually don't have any highly ranked recruits, things like that. So to have a winning record and to display the bravery, sacrifice, and courage it takes to be a future soldier and a soldier in training. Shout out to all the Navy and Army and Air Force students, out there at these service academies, and we appreciate your present and future service. That being said, we look at the Heisman Trophy was awarded this weekend to Travis Hunter. Yes, the amazing, wow, what a great player he is. He is a two-way standout, which means that he plays both offense and defense, which in football is pretty hard to do. It's not like Shohei Ohtani in baseball because you're getting hit all the time. So for him to play two really physical positions that are they're not like offensive and defensive line or anything, but as a cornerback, and he is one especially, he will come up and make the big hit. he will come up and take on, tacklers when he catches the ball. He doesn't shy away from contact. But he's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see him on Sundays in the NFL. He received the most prestigious award. Excuse me, I need water real quick. Little parch there. He edged out runner-up Ashton Gianti, the running back from Boise State, who ran for 2,500 yards and still has bowl games to go. Could possibly break and probably will break Barry Sanders, the legend, his college record. This was the closest Heisman race since 2009 when Alabama's Mark Ingram topped Stanford's Toby Gerhart. Wow, what a bunch of throwback names those were. The Colorado Stars, the first player to star on, excuse me, defense, especially since Michigan quarterback and Raiders legend Charles Woodson. Shout out to Charles Woodson. Love me some Charles Woodson. Back in 1997, he did similar to what Travis Hunter was doing, except he was not nearly the offensive threat Travis Hunter was, which makes me want to take you back even a little further to somebody I love just a little more than Charles Woodson, another Raiders legend and my favorite football player of all time, wide receiver. And shout out my brother D Clubs, the Ridge, Clubber D's brother, who is also a Raiders fan and his favorite player, wide receiver, Hall of Famer, Heisman Trophy winner, Tim Brown, who played offense, kick returner, punt returner, and did all these different things. So there have been players before Travis Hunter, but he is something else and something more special than previous versions before him. So we'll see what he decides to do in the NFL. He says he wants to play both ways. Not going to be able to happen in the NFL. It's just not possible with the. I'm not going to say it's not possible. It is possible, and it should be done, but it should be done at a very low level on the offense. What do I mean by that? I mean that he should be your starting cornerback. He should be your starting cornerback, since that is such a valuable position and one that is very hard to find really, really great cornerbacks, which he is already and would be, coming into the league right away. Wide receivers are easier to find, but also you would put in a package for him on offense. 10 to 5, 10, 15 plays a game, and just let him start on defense, throw him out there, kick returner, punt returner if you wanted to, although that's always risky due to injury. But I would definitely try to get him involved on all three phases of the ball. And I think he's going to make a huge, huge impact. Now, if he wants to make money, not that he really needs it, because let's be honest, since 2022, he's signed more than 20 NIL name, image, likeness deals. Just last week, he signed to Adidas. That's on top of United Airlines, Celsius, and NerdWallet. So, shout out to him for making that bread off of his talents. You got to make that guap when you can. Damn, I took it back. Anyways, but if he really wants to make some guap, he got to be a wide receiver. The wide receiver is the way to go. Obviously, you got these people getting paid. Justin Jefferson, tops the list at $35 million. While Dolphins cornerback Jalen Ramsey is the highest paid defensive back at $24 million. So that's 11 million more. Obviously, it's a big difference when it comes to money. Now, obviously, it all depends on. I would think he'd want to get as involved as possible and get the ball in his hands as much as he possibly can. So we'll see what happens. But I'm really excited to see him, come in on Sundays. All right, let's go ahead and hit those rankings real quick. The Philadelphia Eagles coming in at 12-2. Wow, they are just kicking ass every which way, and I know that they've had the coach beefing with the quarterback and the receiver having disagreements, and people not so not get well. If not getting along is being 12-2, sign me the hell up for not getting along. Because we can be 12-2 and not get along all day. The people I've worked with before in my life that I didn't like or I didn't want to work with. I shouldn't say don't like. I like most people. I get along with most people actually, but there's been certain people I didn't want to work with just because they got on my nerves. I just didn't know how to do their job. They was incompetent. or just a tattletale or whatever that case may be, a snitch. Snitches get stitches. You know how it go. If we are, I'll give it to you this way. I used to work for a company, and I used to have a team. And as a team, we produced chef kiss results within our digital marketing program. But we didn't all get along. We didn't all get along. Uh, hey, we had some arguments, we had some disagreements, we had some days we didn't talk to each other. But you know what? We got the damn job done, and we made money for the company, and that's all that matters. So, moving on. Well, I had to tell that personal anecdote. But Buffalo Bills at 11-3 in the number 2 position. Wow, they've been on a roll as well. Little a season late considering I predicted them to go to the Super Bowl last year. At number 3, the Kansas City Chiefs 13-1, but watch out, Patrick Mahomes with an ankle injury. So we're going to have to see what comes of that. Right now they're saying he's week to week, but ankle injuries, especially high ankle sprains, are very difficult for NFL players to come back from. The Minnesota Vikings at number 4 are 11-2, and the Detroit Lions, even though that game was really hard fought, one of the best games of the year, and they've had a very, very, very exciting games the past few weeks. But the fact that they lost and NFL.com is moving them down to number 5, okay, that's fine. But they're still, if not the best, one of the best teams in the league. I still have them at the top personally, even over Philadelphia. I just think that they've endured too many injuries, and we're seeing that come back to haunt them a little now. So we'll see. We'll see how they can make it work. I do want to share one thing before we move on to the news and get you out of here for the football game. The college football playoffs, as I mentioned, start this week, and since I gave you the bracket last week, I do want to share with you what the projections are here in this bracket. So you'll see that I showed you last week the bracket. There it is again, so you can get a quick look at it. Remember that Oregon, Arizona State, Georgia, Boise State all buys this weekend. This left-hand corner right here, this is going to be your matchups for the weekend, starting with that third matchup on Friday. So going to be an amazing weekend of football because you got the other 3 games, Ohio State, Tennessee, Texas, Clemson, Penn State, SMU on Saturday. But what I want to show you today is the projections. This comes from The Athletic. Shout out The Athletic. I subscribe. I pay for the membership, and it has given me awesome, awesome information. So I do want to make sure I shout out the people at The Athletic, especially one of my boys and our boy here, one of our NBA insiders here at Ball and Buds, our boy, Dave DeFore. Y'all go check out the new NBA Daily podcast featuring that guy, Dave. All right. So look at this. Oregon. It'll show you what I want you to move your eyes to is the right-hand side, which says postseason odds. And I want you to take a look at those last 2 columns where you see the percentage to make the championship game, and then the last column, which is the percentage to win the championship game. So you can see that Oregon has a 20% chance to win the championship. Texas followed. Hot Take Jake's Texas at 18%. Ohio State at 17%. And then Canteen's Georgia at 12%. Penn State at 12%. Those are your top 5 to win the championship this year, the first ever college football playoff championship. And then your top 5 to make the championship are going to be the same teams, but you can see when I click it, it comes to a little bit of a different order. Georgia actually moves up, and this is because of the playoff matchups themselves, where they're playing at the teams they're playing. But as you can see, that does make a little bit of a difference. Ohio State moves down in chances to make the championship, but then if they do make the championship, they have a better chance to win it than other teams. So it's just saying they have a harder road to actually get there. That's what that is explaining. But again, I just wanted to come and show y'all real quick before we get this started as I hit boxes everywhere for some reason. I don't know why I had to make that big of an arm gesture, but we love you here. Oregon is your top 20%. And then again, Hot Take Jake's Texas at number 2 are your top 2 contenders for the college football playoffs. All right. So now that we've done our pop culture and sports, let's go ahead and move into the news so I can get out of here because my Raiders come on in 15 minutes. Oh, by the way, before I get out of here, I do want to give you my my predictions for tonight. We have 2 Monday Night Football games tonight, which is awesome. I actually like the 2 Monday Night Football game thing they have going on. One already started just 2 minutes ago. The Bears and Vikings. The Vikings are up 3-0. No way the Bears beat the Vikings at home. The Vikings are too good of a team, and Sam Darnold is playing above his head. We're waiting for that pumpkin. We'll see. We'll talk more about it on. We'll talk more about both these games on the Bottom Line Sports tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you're subscribed to Ball and Buds or join the Bottom Line Sports Facebook group. I got the Vikings in this by probably 10. I'm going to say 24-10 Vikings. And then Falcons versus my Raiders. Raiders have no reason whatsoever on God's green earth to win this game. And if they don't go out and tank this damn game, shaking for Shador, baby. We are shaking for Shador. And I don't care if Aiden O'Connell is healthy enough. You bench that sucker. You throw Desmond Ridder out there, and you hope to lose. You hope to lose. I know I shouldn't say that, but we have the number 1 draft pick right now. And you know what that means? We have the pick of the litter, baby. The pick of the litter, baby. Woo! Where's my Ric Flair? I need a little bit of Ric Flair. Where? There he is.
You and I are limousine ride, jet fly,
Little limousine ride, jet fly, wheeling, dealing, son of a gun.
Holla. 5,000.